What is going on, guys? It's your boy Chris here. This is going to be a different kind of video, but I feel like it's necessary. It's going to be baseball oriented. And the reason I'm doing this video is the trade deadline's coming up. My hometown Baltimore Orioles are doing really good, but they have some needs they need to address. The biggest one being starting pitching. However, I feel I need to do a public service announcement for those out there who are of the opinion that the Orioles are going to give up the farm to trade for either Garrett Crochet or Tarek Skubal. Now, Garrett Crochet with the White Sox having a really good year, only 24 years old, 2 years of control, blah, 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 blah. Probably going to hit an innings limit soon. Tarek Skubal, 2.5 years of control, blah, 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 with the Tigers. Tigers aren't that good this year. 2.5 years of control. And has had Tommy John surgery. But I need to make this clear because people don't understand this. In no universe or dimension in time that we live in now or have ever lived in would any ball club in their right fucking mind trade the number one prospect in baseball with 6 years of control for a 2.5 years of a pitcher when that guy could be the cornerstone of your fucking franchise. Okay? Any trade the Orioles make in the next week, Jackson Holliday, the number one prospect in baseball, will not be a part of it. He played 36 games in the major leagues this year, or 36 at bats, and he didn't do so great. If you're ready to give up on him and say, fuck it, trade him to Detroit, you're insane and stupid. If you think that Mike Elias is going to make that trade, you're insane and stupid. There is no planet, none, on which the Orioles will trade Jackson Holliday. Okay? I want to say they won't trade Kobe Mayo either, but you never know. They might do that one. I hope they don't, because that guy's got power for days. He's the right-handed power bat that we could use in our lineup right now. So I hope they don't do that. Of their top 3 prospects that they could trade right now, the one I see getting moved is Samuel Basallo. No, that doesn't mean I want to see them do it, but he's 19. He's a couple years away from the majors. He's a catcher, first baseman. We don't need a catcher anytime soon. We got Adley Rutschman. We don't need a first baseman. We've got Mountcastle and O'Hearn. And Kjerstad can play first base. And in an absolute pinch, Tony Santander can play first base. So, we don't necessarily need a catcher or first baseman right now. So we can afford to eat that. Also, Kobe Mayo, third baseman in the minors, has been playing some first base. So he's been playing first and third. So we don't necessarily need the first baseman. That spot's kind of covered up. Catcher, we don't need one anytime soon. We need a backup catcher. We need a backup catcher after McCann's gone, but we have a guy like Brett Cumberland who can back him up, back up Adley and shit like that. So we don't necessarily need a backup catcher. And you can get a backup catcher for pretty cheap on the market because they don't catch us. They're not going to catch that much anyway with Adley because Adley's young and he catches 4 out of every 5 games anyway, so you don't need him. A catcher. Starting a catcher. for at least a couple years until at the end they just drafted like 5 catchers in this draft. And you get Craig Willems, who's in our top 30 prospects. So the potential I see for a trade that the Orioles will actually make that makes any fucking sense. I can see them trying to go for Tarik Skubal. And I can see the trade being Connor Norby, their number 4 prospect. Sammy Basayo, their number 2 prospect. Judd Fabian, their number 6 or 9 prospect. And possibly adding in maybe Hudson Haskin or something like that, or a low-level pitching prospect, or a guy at Bowie like a Nunez or a Pham, or Juan Nunez or Alex Pham. So one of those guys. So I've got Connor Norby, Sammy Basayo, Judd Fabian, and either Nunez or Juan Nunez or Alex Pham going to Detroit for Tarik Skubal. That's a good trade, okay? That's 4 top 30 prospects. 3 in the top 10 of the organization. And a throw-in. If you want us to sweeten the pot, we'll throw in Kyle Stowers. You know, give an extra outfielder, because for whatever reason, we just can't find a spot for him on this team. Now, the other thing is, there's been talk between the Phillies and the Orioles about Cedric Mullins. If that's true, Cedric Mullins for like Mick Abel or Andrew Painter, at which point we could part with a Cade Povich or a Chase McDermott or a Seth Johnson, because Mick Abel or Andrew Painter are kind of like stud pitchers. So you could go that route, and then you could afford to give up one of the upper level arms and then throw one of them in, take out Pham or Nunez, maybe pop out Fabian, and do like McDermott or Johnson or Povich, and then have, it be, hey, we'll give you Norby, we'll give you Basayo, and we'll throw in one of these pitchers for him, for Skubal, which is a good deal. Again, good deal. They wouldn't trade Mick Abel or Andrew Painter if they got him in this deal, because they just fucking got him, and there's no fucking way that any team in the right mind would do that, because they're up there with regarded up there with Jackson Holiday. So I wouldn't do that. Again, Sammy Basayo is our number 2 prospect. I don't want to trade him, but I'm absolutely not going to trade Kobe Mayo, and I really don't want to give up the bat that Kobe Mayo has and the power potential he has in his bat. So I'll sacrifice a Basayo and a Connor Norby, because we don't have a spot for him, and it's better just to let him go somewhere, and a Stowers, just because I don't know what else that kid has to do, stuff like that. So I would do that in those cases, just to move those guys along, get Tarik Skubal. Now, if the option is Crochet, then I would go with again, Basayo, fair. Norby, fair. I don't know if they need any outfielders, but I would offer them a Stowers, fair. And I would give in or throw in I don't know if they want a pitcher back, but I would throw in a Fabian or Dylan Beavers, and either a Nunez or a Pham. So there, you've got 4 prospects for Crochet, and Stowers. You know what I'm saying? So you've got. I mean, I don't know if they would take Stowers. Again, I like Cal Stowers, so I would hope that, like, freeing up space with getting rid of some of these guys would give him an opportunity. I don't know. I like Cal Stowers. I think he's got a cannon for an arm. He hits well. He hits everything well, and he doesn't have anything else to prove. I don't know what else he can do. With Norby, like, he's just blocked. He's blocked. There's no way to put him. Jackson Holiday's going to be at second base. I see Westberg being at third. Now, some people are saying any trade begins with Jordan Westberg. Much like Jackson Holiday, there's no fucking chance you're getting Jordan Westberg unless, like, you give up a shit ton. Because he's an all-star caliber player. He's an all-star player. So was Skubal. Yeah, well, I like our guy better, so fuck that. That's not going to happen. I would love to deal with Seattle, personally. Now, there have been rumors about Mountcastle being on the trade block. I don't want to see them trade Ryan Mountcastle. I love Ryan Mountcastle. I love Mountie. I don't want to see him get traded. But Seattle has a ton of pitching. And we need pitching. They need bats. There have been times in the past where the moons were aligned and the mega powers could have caused chaos. There's a time and there's a way that there could be chaos once again between us and the Mariners. I know there was that little bit of beef about the King Felix thing, but we can let that shit slide and bring forth chaos once again, because these two teams, when the chaos was working and the mojo was flying between them, two of them, there was something special in the air. And there could be something special in the air again between the Mariners and the Orioles. And that special thing in the air, as much as I don't want to do this, is trading Ryan Mountcastle to the Mariners, along with a Connor Norby. And in return, we get Logan Gilbert. Or Brian Wu. I know. I just said I don't want to trade Ryan Mountcastle. And I don't want to trade Ryan Mountcastle. But sometimes you got to give up something you don't want to give up to get something. There are some things that are untradeable, Jackson Holiday being one of those things. So you have to look in other places to make deals. Like, I love Cedric, but I would trade him to the Phillies for Mick Abel or Andrew Painter in a heartbeat. I'm sorry. I love Cedric Mullins, but I would make that deal. Like, I'd give him bus fare to the airport right now to get the fuck out of Baltimore. I'm not even trying to be mean about it, but fuck it, I would do that today. To get Logan Gilbert. Or throw in somebody to get George Kirby. I don't think the Mariners would trade George Kirby, but I would sweeten the pot with like a Sammy Basayo to get George Kirby. Yeah, I think that would get that done. Again, don't want to give up Basayo or Mountcastle, but to get George Kirby, I would trade all three, like the two of them together. Like, you can have both these guys for that guy. I would do that. Again, we need pitching. We need another pitcher to go on this rotation because it's hurting right now. It's hurting. I don't know. Dean Kramer's been really up and down. And as good as advertised as Corbett Burns has been, and as much of an ace caliber pitcher that Grayson Rodriguez has shown himself to be, Dean Kramer's been shaky as fuck, and the rest of that line, as rotation, is held together by glue and duct tape for our last two spots in the rotation. It's been like, we got Albert Suarez, and I don't know if he can hold on at 34, and then like pray for the fifth spot, because God knows what else we got. So, we need that. This team, even with the injuries they've had in the rotation, had the third best ERA in the American League and the sixth best in baseball. And this is without John Means, Kyle Bradish, and Tyler Wells. This team is a game and a half in first place, missing 3 fucking pitchers that they were counting on going into this season. And then Danny Colome in the bullpen. Kyle Bradish was their fucking ace last year. Okay? And he was in the Cy Young running. He finished like 4th, okay? 4th. He was that fucking good last year. John Means, like, when he was last healthy, pitched a fucking no-hitter against the Mariners. So you have to look at what these guys did. When everybody was healthy, they won 101 games last year. They're in first place this year, third best ERA in the American League, sixth best in the majors, missing 2 of their better pitchers, and a guy they were looking at to help kind of stabilize things as either a swingman or the bullpen or whatever, in Tyler Wells. And they're doing what they've been able to do. If everybody had been healthy, the American League East wouldn't even be fucking close. The Orioles probably would be running away with this shit. And they may not necessarily need a pitcher, but they need a pitcher. And so, that's just my ideas on what to do to get pitching. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think anybody knows what they're going to do. But this idea that they're going to trade Jackson Holliday is some dumb shit. And y'all need to stop. I don't give a fuck if you're a national commentator, Sports Illustrated. Like the trade that they came up with, like Luis Robert for Jackson Holliday, I was like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck is that? Like, no, they're not going to fucking do that. And some of the stuff I saw on MLB.com, some of the proposals I saw there, ain't no fucking way. Jackson Holliday will not be a part of any trade for Scooble. It's not going to happen. He will not be a part of any trade for Crochet. They didn't do it for Dylan Cruz. They're not going to do it, who is a better pitcher than both these guys. They didn't put him in a Dylan Cruz trade last year or this offseason. They're not going to put him in a trade for one of these guys. I don't know what to fucking tell you if you expect that. You're going to be waiting a long-ass time for that trade to come through because it's not happening with one of those guys. They're not going to fucking do it. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. I'm going to hop off here and get some stuff done around here. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace and go O's.